Hi, Miss Safi here. Thank you so much for joining me. In this lesson, we're going to be going over clarity, unity, and coherence. So this is a very important topic. I cannot stress this enough. A lot of the essays that I read have problems with this specific area. So please pay special attention to this lesson and be sure to put these lessons to work in your own right. So in this lesson, I'm going to go over a review of paragraph parts. We're going to identify unity, coherence, and then apply our knowledge to some examples. All right, so let's start with the paragraph. The paragraph is a series of sentences developing one topic. There are several types of paragraphs. There's a narrative paragraph, which tells a story, the persuasive paragraph, which tries to convince the audience of something, the descriptive paragraph, which of course describes something, and then we have the expository or explanatory paragraph, which gives information or explains something. This goes back to our discussion of purpose. Purpose leads to focus, whether we are reading or writing. So keeping in mind what type of paragraph you're writing will help to focus your writing. All right, let's review quickly the topic sentence. You'll recall the topic sentence of a paragraph is stated in just one sentence usually. This is called the topic sentence. Now for essay, it may be one or two, but at the paragraph level, you really want to keep your topic sentence down to one sentence. The rest of the paragraph consists of sentences that develop or explain the main idea or your topic sentence. Let's look at an example. This first part says, "Through the centuries, rats have managed to survive all of our efforts to destroy them." So we know from this topic sentence that this paragraph will be about our efforts to destroy rats. We have poisoned them and trapped them. We have fumigated, flooded, and burned them. We have tried germ warfare. Some rats even survived atomic bomb tests conducted in the Pacific after World War II. In spite of all our efforts, these enemies of ours continue to prove that they are the most indestructible of pests. So we have a wonderfully written topic sentence here. We have a concluding sentence here at the end that basically recaps and just restates exactly what was in the topic sentence using different language. And in the middle, we have sentences that make up the body of this paragraph that support our main idea. So again, main idea, concluding sentence. A little bit of a sound effect there for that atomic bomb reference. All right, so developing a paragraph. A topic sentence may be developed by giving examples within the body of the paragraph, or by giving details within the body of the paragraph, or by telling an incident. So you can always develop a paragraph by doing these three things: examples, details, or telling an incident. The concluding or clincher sentence is very important. It restates the topic sentence in different words. A clincher sentence or concluding sentence clinches the point made in the paragraph. So think about the one that we just read about the rats in that clincher sentence that basically restated that topic sentence in different words. It'll summarize the paragraph, but it will not give new information. So this brings us to our point regarding unity. So paragraphs must have unity. Every sentence in a paragraph should support the main idea expressed in the topic sentence. So main idea and then all these other little sentences should support it. Unity means oneness, so a paragraph has unity of thought if it sticks to one subject. If a paragraph is unified, it can be summed up in just one sentence. This is called unity of thought. So unity means oneness. So the basic test of this is to write your topic sentence and then read every single sentence in your paragraph against it. If it does not support it directly, then you don't have unity in your writing. Coherence is another really important piece of the puzzle. With coherence, you want to stick to the point. The ideas have a clear and logical relation to each other. You need to put details or examples or incidents in logical order. They have to make sense. They have to go together. Sometimes we'll use chronological order of putting those details together. In the online school materials, they refer to this as a pattern of organization. So that pattern may be chronological, it could be in relation to each other, or it could be in order of importance. And these are just some of the examples. Coherence means hanging together and requires both the proper arrangement of your ideas. I cannot stress this enough. There has to be a logic to the way you arrange your ideas, and then the bridging of gaps between the sentences with connectives that show the exact relationship of part to part. And I'm going to show you examples of what I mean. But this is one that's pretty hard to actually pull off from what I can see from student writing. This is one that sometimes students fail. Actually, a lot of times they fail at for some reason, and it's usually because they don't spend enough time on writing drafts. And we'll look at examples of coherence. So arrangement. There are several standard ways to arrange a paragraph, and again, refer to your transitions chart. This is kind of alluding back to what I discussed on the previous slide. The sentence order should seem natural. Nothing should be distracting. Connecting sentences within the paragraph is also important. You're going to use transition words, such as those found under chronological order, or objects in relation to one another. This might be used for like the description of a place, or in order of importance. This is the one that students use most often. So if I see this in your writing, you should be putting words in that exemplify that pattern of organization. All right, here's another really important one, connectives, okay? So the progression of each sentence from the preceding one, the one that came before it, must be logical, and it should also be clear and unmistakable. Again, this is one of the problems that I see most often in essays. Word bridges or transitional words join sentences and paragraphs and keep the reader's mind in the path the writer wants him or her to follow. Useful bridges include the following: this, that, these, those, personal pronouns, repeated nouns, conjunctions, adverbs, and connective phrases. You need to keep in mind that the reader is not in your mind while you're writing your essay or your paragraph. So you have to be extra lucid in your writing so that you can create bridges for the reader to you, the writer, and connectives are really how you're going to be able to do this from sentence to sentence, thought to thought, word to word. So here's an example that's very typical of something that I see in essays. This one reads, San Francisco is a large city in California. They sell bread there. This student could very well be writing about San Francisco, and there could in fact be selling bread going on in San Francisco, which I'm sure there is. But what in the world is the connection between these two thoughts? That is so unclear. Now, it may be obvious to you, the writer, but if this is what you wrote in your paragraph or your essay, you sure failed to let me, the reader, know about that. So this is where connectives come into place. You could rewrite this sentence and fix this very simply by making the connection obvious. San Francisco, a large city in California, is not only known for its famous bridges, but also for its special bread. We said the same thing. We're still talking about San Francisco. We still identified it as a large city in California, but we connected the information. We put in something that San Francisco is known for, and then tied in this piece about the bread by making it very clear that we're mentioning it because it's something that San Francisco is known for. And that's what all of your ideas in your essays or your paragraphs must do. Emphasize what matters when you write. Everything in your paragraph isn't equally important. So make sure that significant matters stand out and unimportant details stay in the background. Usually we place important ideas at the beginning and the end because first impressions are lasting and the end is the longest remembered. So some ways to draw emphasis to things is to use a forceful introduction. Use some sort of hook or idea that would really draw in your reader. Have an effective conclusion. Really leave it with a bang so that your reader is left thinking about your writing long after it's out of their sight. Use purposeful repetition. A really great example of this is Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech and how he uses repetition to emphasize points. You could definitely do that in your writing. Use examples. Stories are wonderful whenever you can use an example of some sort to illustrate a point. Compare and contrast to really drive home a point. Use climatic arrangement. Maybe you want to start out with the biggest detail up front and then work your way down, or you want to start with details and lead up with suspense to this big event that may be happening. So use climatic arrangement. And then good proportion. Sometimes I see a paragraph that's just 1 or 2 sentences long, and then the next one will be at least 10 sentences, and there's not good proportion in those points. The main points need to be balanced. All right, let's look at some examples of what I'm talking about. So on the screen here, there's a paragraph, and I'm not going to read it out loud. I'm going to explain this and then let you pause the screen so that you can read it yourself. But as you read this paragraph, there's 2 main things I want you to pay attention to. The text in this color, this orangish color, I guess, these are major connectors. These connect the 3 major details of this paragraph. So I want you to pay attention to where they appear and how they're making their connections. And then the next one is the text that's in bold. These are minor connectors. So these are not the transitions between your major 3 points of the paragraph. These are words that are going to provide coherence to a paragraph by connecting sentences within each of the main parts of your paragraph. That is, when you write about your main points, you can use minor connectors to link your details to each main point. So as you read this sample paragraph, pay attention to where you see each of these and how it's doing its job. Then try to reread it by omitting those and see how it changes the meaning. And I cannot tell you how often I read paragraphs and essays where students fail to put these 2 items in there, and it really becomes a guessing game for me to try to connect the dots, and I really shouldn't have to work that hard as a reader. The writer is supposed to be doing that work. So at this point, please pause the recording and read this paragraph and pay special attention to the text that I pointed out to you. When you're done, please unpause and follow along to the next screen. It's the same paragraph that you just embellishing it by adding these very critical pieces of information. Again, go ahead and pause your screen, read this, and then unpause when you're ready to move on. Okay, thank you for doing that. Hopefully it helped to highlight the point we're making. Now let's shift our attention to unity. So does this paragraph have unity? Now with unity, this one is a little bit, it really is kind of simple. You just need to read every single one of your sentences and make sure 110% that it is supporting your topic sentence. And if it is not, then take it out. So go ahead and read this paragraph. And this really is not a bad paragraph, but you'll want to look for a sentence that really doesn't belong here. So go ahead and pause your screen, read it, and then take your guess, and then come back with me, move on to the next screen for the answer. All right, hopefully you participated in that. Thank you. So did you find the sentence that doesn't belong? If you picked this one in red text down here, you are correct. So even though this sentence is factually correct, there's nothing wrong with it, it doesn't really support this topic sentence, which is about how each of the space exploration projects had specific major goals. All of the other sentences support it. This one just talks about Ed White following this cosmonaut's trip, and that really doesn't have anything to do with the stated main point of this paragraph. It's so easy to stick something like this in there because, hey, it seems connected and it is factual, but at the end of the day, it does not support the main idea, the topic sentence, so you take it out. All right, let's recap. In this lesson, we covered a review of the paragraph parts. We looked at unity, coherence, and we applied our knowledge to some examples. Now, please, please, please go back to your own writing and make sure that you do this, not only for the paragraph you'll be turning in, but for every piece of writing. Check that you have unity, check that you have coherence, and make sure you're using those major and minor connectors. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I do welcome them. Please reach out to me via Kmail, Skype, or Class Connects, and I look forward to talking to you. Take care. Thank you.